What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Weekly GCap, the only source you'll ever need to catch up on all the gaming news from the last week. As always, we got quite a good bit to go through, so let's go ahead and get right into this. First things first, let's go ahead and kick things off with all the game releases from the last week. So, on March 28th, we had Felix the Cat for PS5, PS4, and Nintendo Switch, Open Roads for PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, Pepper Grinder for PC and Nintendo Switch, Stasis Bone Totem for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and X, Xbox Series S, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, Touch Detective 3 plus the complete case files on Nintendo Switch. Then on April 2nd, we had Withering Rooms for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Then on April 4th, we had Turbo Golf Racing for PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One. It is worth noting that this is less of a brand new game and more or less just a game leaving early access. Tengoku Struggle Stray Side for Nintendo Switch. This was actually the game's first English release, so it was out before that. It's just, finally got localized. That was also on April 4th. And then finally for April 4th, Freedom Planet 2 for the Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PS5, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. Got a good bit of variety there. Now I'd love to hear from you guys. Have you guys picked up or played any of these games in the last week? Next up, we got the first wave of April Xbox Game Pass games for you guys. So, available now, we have Super Hot, Mind Control Elite for cloud, console, and PC, Lego 2K Drive for cloud and console, Low Gator Game for cloud, console, and PC, EA Sports PGA Tour for cloud, PC, Xbox Series X and S through EA Play. Then on April 9th, we have Kona for cloud and console, Botany Manor, how are you supposed to say that? Botany Manor, I think, for cloud, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. Again, that's April 9, and that is a Day 1 Game Pass release. Then on April 11th, we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition for cloud, console, and PC, and April 16th, we have Harold Halibut for cloud, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. It is worth noting that April 15th, the following games will be leaving, those being Amnesia Collection, Amnesia Rebirth, Back 4 Blood, Phantom Abyss, Research and Destroy, and Soma. If I can recommend any games where I'm like, you absolutely need to play that, I mean, I don't know, there's some great games there, but I would at least recommend Amnesia Collection. There's a couple games in that collection, hence the name Collection, but if I had to, choose one for you to, absolutely play, I would definitely say The Dark Descent, that being, the first game in the series, obviously. It's like a survival horror, puzzle, immersive sim, it's very good. It's a bit twisted, though, so I will warn you of that, but it's an amazing game. Next up, we had some surprise additions to PS Plus announced. Normally, they announce in two waves. We have the first wave where they announce the PS Plus Essential games for the following month, and then later in the month they announce the PS Plus Extra and Premium games. But this time they just kind of announced two games randomly just out of nowhere. So the first game being Dave the Diver, which will be joining the PS Plus catalog on April 16th, and then Tales of Kanzera Zao, which will be coming out April 23rd, and that is a Day 1 release on the PlayStation Plus. They haven't been doing Day 1 releases as often as Xbox, but they've been ramping it up a good bit lately, and that was a game I had my eye on, so I guess I'll be playing it there. I still plan to get a physical copy of it, but, I'll at least do my first playthrough there since it'll be there and available anyway. Next up, I just want to let you guys know that two games are currently free on Epic Games, those being the Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition and Thief. These will be free until April 11th at 11 a.m. EST. Next up, Predator Hunting Grounds is coming to next gen. I don't know if you guys remember this game, but that was like this, the asymmetrical Predator game, similar to something like Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th, except, with Predator. Anyway, they put up a roadmap, and the thing I want to highlight is late 2024 release, Xbox Series X and S, and PS5 release. Predator is coming to Xbox. So it was a PlayStation and PC exclusive before this, so not only will it finally be coming to Xbox, but it's also getting a next-gen version. This release is focused on next-gen, running on Unreal 4.27, Vivox, and WYs, with a standard edition and digital deluxe edition offered. So I'm sure there's going to be a slew of new updates, whether that be ray tracing, higher performance, new features, whatever. But, I thought that was pretty cool, because this was one of those releases where it came out, didn't seem to make as big of a splash as maybe the developers would have wanted, it's nothing like Dead by Daylight by any means, but, it's cool that it's still around, that they're putting in the work to put out the next-gen version, and I'll definitely be diving back in. I haven't played in a while, but I'll dive back in, see what's new. Next up, I just want to let you guys know that previews have gone live for Visions of Mana. IGN posted about a 4-minute video just talking about the game, showing some gameplay. They said they played the game for about 2 hours, so they got a decent look at it. I mean, decent enough. It's an RPG, so we know this game's gonna be dozens of hours, but, yeah, I'm very excited for this game. I didn't watch the preview just because I like going into games as blind as possible, but from, the 3 seconds I saw while, downloading trailers and stuff for this video to edit things together, yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. Next up, an Ubisoft showcase was announced. That's coming from Ubisoft on X. Quote, "It's back. Join us live from Los Angeles for hashtag UbiForward on June 10th for updates and upcoming releases," end quote. So, again, this will be happening during, what would have been E3 time. Now, it just kind of seems a lot of publishers are going off and kind of doing their own thing. So, obviously, I have no idea what's going to be announced here, but as soon as it happens, we'll do the full recap and everything as always here on the show. Next up, Hiroki Titoki is now the new PlayStation CEO, or at least temporarily. This coming from Push Square. Quote, Sony President Hiroki Titoki will today step into his new role as PlayStation CEO following Jim Ryan's retirement after a more than 30-year tenure at the company. While retaining his duties across the wider business, Titoki's main objective will be to aid the search for a true successor to Jim Ryan while defining, quote, the next chapter of PlayStation's future. Given the temporary nature of Titoki's position, it's not expected the Sony president will make any immediate changes to the PlayStation brand and approach. If he were to, however, Titoki has shared opinions in the past that line up with the current multi-platform initiatives on PC and mobile. Dubbed a bit of a numbers guy, Titoki has said he wants Sony to be, quote, aggressive when improving the division's profit margins. So, again, Hiroki Titoki, he is not the new official CEO long-term, but he is, like, the short-term official temporary CEO until they find somebody that will actually replace Jim Ryan long-term. He's just kind of like the in-between guy. I have no idea who they're gonna find to replace Jim Ryan, and I don't even want to know what that's like behind the scenes, trying to find the right person for this sort of thing, but I just really hope we can get a gamer in the seat. You know what I mean? Like somebody that is, yes, a numbers guy to the extent of like they know how to keep the company afloat and maybe, even like grow the company, obviously, get games out to more people and just, innovate in new ways. But at the same time, I also just hope that they're a bit of a gamer themselves, just so we don't see any anti-consumer moves, trying to milk the players, drive their money, or, big live service initiative pushes or anything like that. Not that there's anything wrong with live service games inherently, it's just that, there's a difference between good live service games and, well, the shovelware that we see all over the various gaming storefronts. This is all we know at this time, so, well, obviously I'll keep you guys updated as things go along, but I'm hoping for good things. Next up, the Star Wars KOTOR Remake is, quote, alive and well. This coming from IGN. Quote, fortunately, we finally have a real concrete update on what's going on. Saber Interactive is still working on it, and according to the CEO, it's, quote, alive and well. Speaking to IGN in an interview today, Saber Interactive CEO Matthew Karch confirmed that the company took KOTOR with it during its split from Embracer Group, and that the game is still in active development. Quote, it's clear and it's obvious that we're working on this, he said. It's been in the press numerous times. What I will say is that the game is alive and well, and we're dedicated to making sure we exceed consumer expectations, end quote. So I think I'm just going to leave it there. There's not much else to be said. We don't even have like an official release window for this game. We haven't really seen any trailers for this game outside of that initial like teaser that you guys are seeing on your screen right now. But to say that I'm excited for this remake would be understatement of the century. I have so much nostalgia for both the original KOTOR and KOTOR 2 as well. So hopefully we get a KOTOR 2 remake at some point, but obviously one step at a time. I'm very excited to see KOTOR Remake finally come out. Next up, it seems like a long-awaited feature that has been on PC for a while is finally coming to consoles and could potentially boost performance on certain games. This is coming from Eurogamer. Quote, Ascendant Studios' Immortals of Avium is currently enjoying a new lease of life as a free game on PlayStation Plus, and 2 major upgrades are coming soon. The first, patch 1.0.6.3, adds support for high dynamic range, aka HDR, and should be rolling out to all console versions of the game today. Perhaps more exciting is the upcoming 1.0.6.4, which brings AMD's FSR 3 frame generation to consoles for the first time, increasing frame rate via inserted interpolated frames. When the console versions receive their FSR 3 upgrades, the PC version will also be updated to support the latest rendition of AMD's frame generation technology. Ascendant is working with development partner Enduring Games to bring this eagerly awaited feature to consoles, and we're intrigued to see just how good the implementation will be. The PR doesn't give much away about how frame gen changes or improves Immortals of Avium on consoles, saying only that patch 1.0.6.4 will also extend FSR 3 support for variable refresh rate, aka VRR monitors and TVs on both PC and consoles, which will improve frame pacing and reduce occurrences of judder or screen tears, end quote. This is a pretty exciting prospect. So, I mean, you guys know me. I don't care at all about resolutions or frame rates. I'm the same guy that still plays SNES games, Atari games. Like, I'm the same guy that can still have fun quad split screening on 007 and dropping down to the single digits anybody does anything besides moving. That being said, it's always good for there to be innovations or improvements in technology or performance or this, that, or the other, just to, get smoother experiences out of things, I guess. Again, it was even stated in the article, we're not sure just how effective this implementation will be, but, FSR, in terms of PC at least, it's had some pretty helpful benefits in terms of just like boosting up that performance and stuff like that. So this is pretty exciting, and who knows, maybe we'll see this or maybe even like Nvidia's DLSS implemented into some more console games in the future. And heck, it could even start to be like implemented with some of the in-game like graphical settings. Like obviously a lot of games we have quality and performance modes, so then maybe you could like pick between them, or maybe have like different levels of like DLSS or FSR in certain console games. I'm not sure if we're necessarily there yet. I know there's been rumors of Sony possibly working on their own little FSR type thing behind the scenes, but I don't know, we'll see as we go. Next up, Sega is selling Relic Entertainment. This coming from Video Games Chronicle. Quote, Sega has announced plans to sell Relic Entertainment and cut 240 jobs in Europe. Vancouver, Canada-based Relic specializes in real-time strategy games, including the Company of Heroes, Age of Empires, and Homeworld series. Sega said it is selling Relic to a holding company to be newly established by the UK investment company Emona Capital LLP. Relic has said it will continue supporting its existing games following the news that it's to be sold by Sega. The majority of the 240 job cuts will be made at Creative Assembly and Sega Europe, with a smaller number also being cut at Sega Hardlight, all three of which are based in the UK. Following a review of the medium-term lineup of its European studios, Sega also said it has decided to implement write-downs of work in progress of some titles and development. As a result, it expects to record a loss of 5.6 billion yen, aka $31 million, as cost of sales. Quote, Sega is working closely with Relic on the shift, and we wish them the best for the future. Newly appointed Sega Europe head Jurgen Post told staff, I want to sincerely apologize for the worry and understandable distress this news will cause, particularly for those directly affected. These decisions have been incredibly tough to make, and they follow meticulous consideration and deliberation with leadership teams across the business. Change is necessary to secure the future of our games business and to ensure that we are well placed to deliver the best possible experiences to our players going forward. We need to streamline, focus on what we are good at, and position ourselves as best we can for the road ahead. In order to do that, we need to respond to the changing economic landscape and the challenges we're facing in the way we develop our products and bring them to market, end quote. So this is just another in a long string of layoffs that we've unfortunately had to cover here on the show recently, and unfortunately that is not the last bit of layoff news that we'll be covering today, but again, as always, all I can say is that my heart truly goes out to the folks that have been impacted by these layoffs, and I hope you're all able to find new work soon, and hopefully Sega is able to figure their stuff out soon. Next up, Gearbox was hit with layoffs shortly after, and by shortly after, I mean literally within a day of them being acquired by Take-Two. So, this coming from Insider Gaming, quote, it took less than a day for employees at Gearbox Entertainment to be hit with layoffs after being sold by Embracer Group. According to multiple posts on social media, a number of people are no longer working for Gearbox after it was announced that the company is being purchased by Take-Two Interactive. Quote, along with countless others, I've just been informed I've been laid off at Gearbox. Former PR manager Jennifer Locke posted on Twitter, it really was a dream come true working on this team, and I'm incredibly grateful for my time here. And then there was a bunch of other quotes that they had listed from other people that have posted up saying they've been laid off. As of writing, it's unclear how many people were impacted by the layoffs. Insider Gaming has reached out to Gearbox and Take-Two Interactive for comment on the layoffs. Should a response be received, this story will be updated accordingly. End quote. To say that this is very unfortunate would be a huge understatement, and truly my heart does go out to you folks. I hope you guys are able to find sustainable work again soon. You know, when it comes to like acquisitions and stuff, that's just kind of how it goes. If there's like overlapping positions at the companies, they kind of just, you know, have to cut some people out, unfortunately. It doesn't make it right, but that's just how it is in the whole business world. Again, my heart goes out to you folks, and I hope you're able to find sustainable work again soon. Next up, there were some fun April Fool's gaming announcements that I just kind of wanted to highlight for you guys. So first up, we had Sega with the CLC. This is coming from Sega on X. Quote, we're excited to introduce the next innovation in gaming, cartridge loadable content. Lock-on technology was just the beginning. Insert a second, third, fourth cartridge to load new features like never before. Visit your local Blockbuster on April 1st, 1991 to check it out. Releasing with Big Head Mode and Sonic the Hedgehog cartridges to enhance your Sonic the Hedgehog experience. Each cartridge sold separately. So, yeah, you know, they have pictures up there like Sonic with a big head and everything like that. Then we move on to Cyberpunk. So, this is coming from Cyberpunk 2077 on X. Quote, if you missed the good old days when game installation was a true ritual, then you'll love the limited floppy edition of Cyberpunk 2077. Wishlist now at cp2077.ly/floppy edition, and be prepared for a truck delivery of 97,619 3.5-inch diskettes. So, man, I don't know how many of you watching this video are old enough to remember floppy disks, but I'll tell you this much. Sometimes those installations, even back in the day when file sizes were a mere decimal in terms of percentages of what they are now, yeah, downloading Cyberpunk that way, that would take months, if not more than a year, okay? That would take a very long time. But then finally, the other one that I want to highlight is from IGN, which is actually the video you've probably been seeing on your screen. On their website, they posted up saying, quote, Nintendo has revealed the Nintendo Virtual Boy Pro, a new hardware accessory compatible with Nintendo Switch consoles that looks like one of its wildest projects yet. The Virtual Boy Pro appears to be a VR headset-style device that docks into the Nintendo Switch system, while detached Joy-Con controllers control the action on screen, superimposing gameplay over the player's real-life surroundings at home or away. The Virtual Boy Pro will allow Nintendo Switch owners to experience a wide variety of newly revealed titles and iconic Nintendo franchises now playable in augmented reality. In one scene, we see a player use the device to play the all-new Mario Kart Open Road while operating an actual motor vehicle, leading to the sounds of tires screeching and crashing noises, followed by cheers of excitement from iconic Mario Bros. Character Luigi. It is unclear if the player survives the automobile crash in real life. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, yeah, this is, April Fools. It really has evolved to something new, at least when it comes to, like, the gaming corporations being involved with it, and I'm all for it. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little salty. I got stumped by a few things thinking they were real on April Fool's Day, but these were on the side of, like, hey, you know, it's so ridiculous that it's obvious that it's for April Fools, but yeah, I don't know, I really wanted to share that with you guys. And finally, it seems like Russia is creating their own video game console. This is coming from RT. Quote, President Vladimir Putin has instructed the government to weigh requirements for organizing production of both stationary and portable game consoles in Russia, according to a statement published on the Kremlin's official website on Wednesday. Putin's order was issued following a meeting on the socio-economic development of Kaliningrad region. Aside from consoles, the president also called on the cabinet of ministers to consider developing a social operating system and a cloud system for delivering games and programs to users. The deadline for executing the order has been set at June 15, 2024. Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin, I'm not sure, has been designated as the person responsible for overseeing completion of the task, end quote. So, you know what this makes me think of? The Brazilian Zeebo. If you guys don't know what the Zeebo is, the YouTube channel Stop Skeletons from Fighting, they have made countless videos about the Zeebo, even chronicling every single game released for the Zeebo. I love their channel, watch their content all the time, highly recommend going over and checking that out. But this was essentially a console made in Brazil when, you know, piracy was at an all-time high for video games. Video games, like, in Brazil at least, you know, piracy was real high there, and they just weren't very accessible via official means. Therefore, they tried to make a console that would actually be accessible to most people, at least from like a cost perspective, and the console they ended up coming out with was a console that basically just played mobile games. Kind of makes me think of the Ouya, which, you know, even that in itself is another conversation for another day, but, yeah, I don't know, just gotta give me flashbacks to that. Again, the channel's called Stop Skeletons from Fighting if you want to learn more about the Zeebo. I'm not saying this would turn out like that, it was just, you know, a country trying to make their own game console just kind of made me think about that, but, yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe they'll come out with the, I don't know, let's see. If Vladimir Putin was the one kind of looking into this, if he was the one pushing out the orders, maybe we'll get the Putin Station Switch, the X-Putin Station, the X-Putin Switch, the Vladimir Station. That one actually sounds right. The V Station, there we go, or the V-Box, that's another one. You already know this stuff's gonna end up getting imported into the US somehow, or, you know, there's gonna be people going to Russia trying to do this thing just for, you know, like, research or just pure curiosity reasons. I mean, we'll see if anything comes of this. Obviously, they haven't announced any sort of consoles or anything like that, but if they end up going through with it, I don't know. I feel like we have some interesting stories that'll be ahead on this show for sure. Now, I definitely got to hear from you guys. Please, go down to the comments and just throw out some random ideas for what they could call this console. But anyway, that is all the stories that I got for you guys this week, so now I definitely want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on everything that we talked about? Whether it's the April Fool's gaming announcements, whether it's the fact that KOTOR, the remake, is alive and well. We had talked about that before, but, you know, it's very reassuring getting an update like that. Or, you know, Russia and their console. What do you think about that? Just whatever it is, whatever thing, and I would definitely love to hear from you guys. But anyway, this is Weekly Recap. New episodes go live every single Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, so if you want to catch them as soon as they go live, well then I know when to be here. But anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day and an amazing weekend. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.